Hello and welcome back to another episode of Embroidery Hub. And since Halloween is officially over, that can only mean one thing. It is time for Christmas and we're going to just skip Thanksgiving altogether. Just kidding. I will definitely do something for Thanksgiving, possibly next week. But for now, I'm too excited about Christmas and I really want to make this Merry Christmas table runner for a party that I'm hosting. So I'm gonna show you a very simple way to get perfect centering on a table runner. And I'm also going to be using metallic thread. So I will throw some tips in there as we go. And of course, as always, before we get started, please make sure to like and subscribe. 2020 is almost here and I really want to hit 25,000 subscribers before then. So if you guys can help us get there, I would be so forever grateful for you guys. All right, so without further ado, let's get started. And we're gonna talk real quick about the materials that we need for this project. So at the moment, I have hooped is tearaway stabilizer. And the reason why I'm doing it on this big mini sash frame is because I am going to do a placement line. So we're just going to kind of make believe that this table runner is like an applique. And you guys are gonna see what I mean in just a minute. If you have seen the way I do sashes, then you would know exactly what I'm talking about. But for those of you who don't know, just stick around and watch and you'll get in on all of the fun action. And I actually picked up this table runner at the dollar store. So again, this is another great dollar store find. You guys can definitely sell something like this for 10x the cost of it. $10 is still extremely low for a table runner, but even then, it's still a great profit margin. I'm also going to be using metallic thread. It's the yen mat one, the one that comes in your starter kit if you are a Ricoma customer. If you're not, it's yen mat metallic thread. I typically don't have problems with this thread because I take the right precautions when using metallic thread, but if you guys know a little bit about machine embroidery, you'd know that metallics are not the easiest type of thread to work with. With that thread, I'm also going to be using the 9014 needle that has a larger eye so that the thread can easily pass through and there's no abrasion there causing any thread breaks. Just in case I hadn't mentioned before, I am using a tearaway, and with the table runner, I am just gonna use a tearaway because this is something that I'm not gonna be washing frequently. If you don't wear it, tear is a general rule of thumb. And since this is a pretty simple design, I'm not gonna need too much stabilization. If it was a more complex design, then I'd probably just use a cutaway. But since this is just gonna say Merry Christmas, I'm not gonna need too much stabilization. As for the design, I got it specially digitized to fit the exact size of this. And it's very simple. You guys will see in just a minute what I mean. Basically, I'm just gonna have 2 running stitches on either side to mark the placement. And that's why I said it was like an applique. So for this project, I'm just gonna be floating it over. For those of you who don't know what floating means, it means that I'm not actually hooping this inside the hoop. As you can see, I have just a tearaway hooped. I'm just gonna be floating it over. Typically, you can use some adhesive spray and some pins. At the moment, I don't have any adhesive spray, but that's okay. I do have pins on hand, so I'm just gonna go ahead and pin it so that there's no moving around while the machine is embroidering. All right, so I'm just gonna go ahead and pop it in the machine now. For those of you who do have the Ricoma machine, just keep in mind that with the 22 by 14 inch hoop, you do have to put the flat brackets on sluts 1 and 2 of the pantograph. For those of you who do have the Ricoma machine and you're using this 22 by 14 inch hoop, just remember that you do need to switch these little bracket arms right here to slots 1 and 2 on the pantograph rail. So I have my hoop in the machine. Now the next thing I'm gonna do is stitch out a running stitch to mark the placement for the fabric. So now I know exactly where to place my table runner because this is in the exact same dimensions as the table runner. You guys see that? And then I also have this little mark right here on the hoop that's gonna tell me exactly where to place the center of the table runner, the little triangle part of it. The pins was taking a little bit too long and they actually all fell on the floor, I decided to get rid of them and just use tape, because at the end of the day, we are doing this for commercial purposes. So ain't nobody got time for that. Perfect. And the tape actually helps me line it up even better to the running stitches. So I'm happy I switched to this tape. Now I'm gonna trace just to make sure that the proper changes were made. And it's exactly where I left it at, so that's good. So now I can finally press start. Let's get this project rolling. And with my metallic thread, I'm embroidering at a bit of a slower speed, also because I am floating. I'm not going too fast because I don't want it to pucker up, and I don't have adhesive spray right at the moment, so I don't want any issues with the design moving around. Alrighty, so I'm gonna go ahead and just, ooh, I love tearaway. That was fun. Alrighty, so all in all, the table runner came out pretty good. We did get some puckering, so in order to prevent this, we would need to be using adhesive spray. Unfortunately, I did not have any on hand with the whole move, but it still came out pretty good. This is still I'm still gonna lay this out on my table. And yeah, so look, this is what it'll look like. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Embroidery Hub. I just wanted to share a very simple way that I always use in order to embroider these ribbon-like or sash-like items. As for the metallic thread, it ran beautifully. I did not have any thread breaks at all. I did sprinkle some tips in there for you guys, but I am going to be filming a more detailed video with tips on embroidering metallic threads, so look out for that. So I hope this video helped you come up with a really quick way of making nice Christmas decorations. You can definitely put these up on Etsy or, you know, wherever it is that you sell from, and sell these for something that costs you $1 for 10 to even 20 times the price. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe to help us get to our goal of 25,000 subscribers before the end of this year. And again, if you have any suggestions for future videos, please leave them in the comments. We take our viewer suggestions very seriously, so we will make these videos as long as they are in the realm of embroidery. And if you want to continue this conversation further, feel free to join us on our Facebook group, Embroidery and Custom Apparel Mastery. We have thousands of embroiders in there, including myself, answering questions and asking questions all day long. So I hope you guys can be a part of that too. So with that being said, thanks again, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Merry Christmas. Sorry. Either way, this is a pretty thick tearaway, so it should be. I really need you tonight. Forever's gonna start tonight. Forever's gonna start. Once upon a time I was falling in love. Now I'm only falling apart. Sorry. Okay.